My name's Jordan Cragton. I'm a 1L here at John Marshall in the Criminal Justice Honors Program.
My name is Latoya Mackey. I am also a 1L here at John Marshall in the Criminal Justice Honors Program as well.
My name is Michelle Sandler, and I'm a 2L in the Criminal Justice Honors Program.
My name is Alexandria Clark, and I'm a second year in the Honors Program. And I think why don't we let you guys start as first years so that we can bank off things that you guys don't know yet.
Okay. My experience here at John Marshall has been it's been great. It's been challenging. It was difficult beginning because I lacked perspective, which I'm sure I still do. But having finished the first semester it felt like it was a huge accomplishment. The professors here are outstanding. Professor Rapping kind of hit the nail on the head of what brought me here, because the professors, when I was researching other law schools, a lot of them didn't practice or hadn't practiced, and here all of my professors have. And I figured if I was going to be investing the time and money into this legal education, that I wanted to find out what I was actually going to be getting into. And that has been invaluable for me, being able to not just ask questions about the law, but how the law is actually applied in practice.
Well, I agree with a lot of things that Jordan said. I'm married with 2 children, so when I started the program, I was quite concerned about the workload because, as you can see, we are taking our courses at a quicker pace. Like Jordan said, the fact that we have a smaller class size really allows us to have the opportunity to speak with our professors and to handle difficult concepts. And they really focus on the practical aspects of the criminal justice field and how to apply those concepts, not just memorizing certain legal concepts and precepts, but how to apply those in a real-world case. So when we deal with that and have a smaller class size, it really prepares us to be able to go out into the field and to apply those in cases. And that's what employers are looking for. So ultimately, I believe that, my experience as a first year has been beneficial, and I feel just a little bit more prepared for what's going to be out there when I go out in the field.
Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm living my dream. I mean, this program has allowed me to do everything I've ever wanted to do. I get to wake up in the morning and pinch myself and say, this is real. I'm really doing this. This summer, I'm trying a case on my own because of the honors program and the instruction that I've got. My employer is allowing me to do something because they have faith in me and they know that I've got the skills and I've had the curriculum and the education to do it. I've got my dream internship coming this summer, thanks to the instruction that I've received. This program is different than any other program in the country. You will not get this type of experience anywhere else because you're getting the practical experience, you're getting the integration, you're getting the theory, you're getting everything you need to go out in the real world and actually practice law. You will be doing what you want to do. If you want to be a prosecutor, you will be an ethical and just prosecutor that has gotten a lot of perspective from Professor Rapping about what the problems are in the criminal justice system and what you can do to help. I think it's the best place to be. I'm also married. I have 3 children, and the professors are amazing at also treating you like a person, not just a number. You are not a number in their class, and you never will be. They care about what you're going to be doing when you come out. So, I mean, all I have to say about it is it's been a dream come true, this program.
Talking to some attorneys already, a lot of them mentioned to me that law school did not teach them how to be an attorney. They came out into the real world shocked. They had no idea what to do and how to do it. And I'm confident that when I graduate and when us in the program graduate, we're going to be ready. Because these professors teach us how to be practice-ready attorneys when we graduate. And I realized that after my first year when I did my internship. Because John Marshall in our program, we get to take criminal law and criminal procedure. That's unlike any other law schools in the state. So I was already more prepared for my internship than several other interns that I met. I was already prepared because our professors taught us how to work with clients. So that really helped me when I got ready to interview defendants at the jail or call and interview some of our clients from the public defender's office. And also, and I learned all that through our professors because they really are amazing. They don't teach you just the theory of the law like most of the professors do in different law schools. They teach you how to practice the law. Almost every single day when we learn a concept in our class, they relate it back to a client they had or a case that they had. And just getting to hear those stories and how to apply the law through those stories and in the real world, that's invaluable. And they give us so many great tips on how to be better attorneys. And they're really motivated and to make us one of the best attorneys in the country one day. Because they not only care about us as students, but they care about the communities, and they care about the people who we're going to be working with one day, who we're going to be counseling. And they're really motivated and focused on creating us to be better people in society and to really change the criminal justice system one day, because face it, it is kind of broken, and they teach us and try to help us learn different ways that we can maybe change it and just be better attorneys than some of the attorneys that are out there today. So that's what I really enjoy about the honors program. And if you guys have any questions for us?
Let me encourage you to ask some questions, because these really are the people who are sitting where you all will be sitting in a year or two. And I think that Dean Lynn and myself and the faculty and some of the supervisors who are going to talk can speak from one perspective, but this may be the most important perspective that you get. And so I really do encourage you to think about some questions for you.
Is the classroom setting always serious? You know, do you get a chance to laugh and be real? You know?
Oh, absolutely. I will contest to that. And I don't know if the people who, administrators who chose the people in the honors program did this on purpose, but we're so diverse. Like, honestly, half of us are pretty conservative or moderate, and then the other ones are pretty liberal. So imagine the class discussions that we have. I mean, we just debate, and we're really, you know, we get along so well that they're always very well respectful debates, and we really have great discussions, and we laugh. We hang out with each other out of class. Well, we go out to lunch together. We're all really good friends. So yeah, we laugh all the time. Okay. It's fun.
I've made some of the best friends I'll ever have for life in the honors program. And I mean, I think, you know, kind of fate brought me here and with these amazing people. And I will tell you, when you take Professor Rapping's class and you see his artistic skills, you're going to have a lot of fun. So, but yeah, I mean, the classes can be very light, but you're still learning. I mean, you're getting stories, and you're hearing about crazy clients, and you're hearing about, you know, big cases, but you have so much fun learning what you're learning.
Okay. I have a quick question about work-life balance, in particular to the guys that are married on the panel with kids. How do you balance law school with family life?
Well, for me, the first thing that I did when I decided to become in the program was have a talk with my family and explain to them, you know, the type of responsibilities that were going to be on me, you know, the type of time schedule that I was going to need to implement in order to do this successfully. And not only that, I had to try to make sure that I was always one step ahead of my classwork, because it is very easy to fall behind. So you have to go ahead and start out with the plan and try your best to implement that plan, because you can find yourself having your child sick one day. You can find yourself having to stop because of this family emergency or that family emergency. So it's very important that you kind of take your plan and you say, I need these many hours to do this, and figure out how to do it in your time schedule and make sure your family understands it.
Also, my husband's in the military, so I'm single parenting my kids right now. So you make your family time your family time. You have a schedule, and this is, I'm taking my kids to the zoo today. I'm not worried about homework. I will worry about that after they go to bed. You know, and then you find that more fulfilling work-life balance, because you're not always freaking out about what you have to do next. You know, you have this scheduled and this scheduled, and you know you're going to enjoy this time with your family or your friends or whatever, but it's really, there's a lot of scheduling involved. You have to be very committed to your schedule.
Okay, so I'm hearing schedule. Just a follow-up to that question. If you guys could maybe let me know what your particular schedule is and how a day in your life is, or what have you, that would kind of help me to see how.
Well, I'm married as well, and I just treat it like a full-time job and a half, pretty much. If that means I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to finish reading something I didn't finish up before, I do that, but usually I don't have to do that. I get up, I go to class in the morning. Sometimes I, read my material before class. And then if you have any breaks in between class, don't waste that time. You need to be working on your homework for the next day or the day after. When class is over, I try to stay at school until I finish my homework, because it's hard to focus when I'm at home. And if I don't finish it, I go home and I'm still working until maybe 11 o'clock at night sometimes. But I do make time. I cook dinner for my husband. We eat together. We spend about an hour together. I do some other projects, and that's pretty much my schedule. You pretty much read constantly or do work on projects, but it's all about time management and balance, and you need to make sure you spend time with your spouse if you have one. Like my husband and I have date night every single Friday, no matter what, because you have to do that. You can't. It's okay to neglect your friends. It's not okay to neglect your spouse.
I agree with that, because you will have a very embittered spouse if you don't make the time to spend time with them. And also, as far as my kids, I spend time with them. I have their schedule usually on Saturdays at a particular time, and I have 2 subjects that I'll say that I'll get done like on a full day Saturday, and I'll try to go somewhere where I can do it away from my house and my family, because it's hard to focus when they need this and they need that. So my weekends are very, very drafted to have time with them, but also to make sure that I have my classes and my reading done and prepared, because they will make sure that, it is a light and fun class atmosphere, but they do expect for you to be prepared, because that's what they expect for you to do when you're out there.
I would agree, just to kind of expand on what was already said. Set up a schedule, be proactive, work as hard as you can, get as far ahead as you can, which is difficult to do. But yeah, don't neglect the people who are important. Put them into your schedule, make sure you stick to that. That was something that I struggled with in my first semester. I don't have children, so that was easier for me than some of my other classmates. But I had a talk with my wife about how much time this is going to take and that sort of thing. And she seemed to understand, but she's not going through it and doesn't really fully comprehend what's required. So make sure that you do set aside time for yourself and for your spouse and your children, and put that into your schedule. And then, just stick to it and be proactive. And like what was said is when you have a break and you think that you want to just hang out for a little while, try and get some work done. Get ahead, review your notes, and get ready for class.
But it is important, I think, to maybe set aside one day, maybe on the Saturday or so, to not do anything. And it might not always be possible, but if you can do it, just try it, because you really do need that break sometimes to just get back to normal life and just have some time to do things for yourself. And also for spouses, John Marshall does have during open houses and orientations, they do have workshops for spouses and family members. And I know my husband went to two before I started, and they really get the spouses prepared for what they're going to face and what they're going to go through. And they have current students speak to them, your family members, about what to expect. And they have spouses of current students come in and also talk to them as well and let them know what to expect. So that's something you can also utilize.
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't do a lot of homework on the weekends. That's my kids' time. I get most everything I need to do done during the week, because the minute they go to bed, I'm working. And I work until right before I go to bed. And then on the weekends, I mean, it's very liberating to just go, hey guys, we're going to go to the movies, we're going to go to the park, we're going to do this. And, they don't feel neglected. And then at night when I come home, I don't do homework until I go to bed. So I may take an hour or so when I get out of class, stay here, do a little reading, go to the library, or go home and while my sitter's still there, lock myself up and finish a project. But that way my kids they don't ever see me with a law book in my lap saying, Mommy's got to read, why don't you go watch TV? They don't experience that because of the way I have my schedule worked out.
My question may be two-part. Is there a less emphasis on the civil side of the law than it is for the criminal side? If you understand what I'm asking.
For the program, the honors program in criminal justice, it's focused primarily just on criminal law. You will take a civil procedure class your first year, and you do have electives where you can take as many of those classes as possible, but it's primarily focused on criminal law. Did I answer your question, or am I confused?
I believe so, but okay, so with this program, so what are the benefits for that person who want to maybe become a civil litigator? Is there any benefit? Maybe this probably more directly to the professor. Do you understand that?
You're going to take torts, you're going to take property, you're going to take constitutional law, you're going to take all of the same required courses, right? But you will take a heavier focus on criminal law, and there's a real criminal law emphasis. And then you have electives, and I suspect a lot of you would choose to pack in a lot of your electives with criminal law related courses. But as Alexandra said, you don't have to. If your interest was something else, we have all sorts of electives here, and you're not precluded from taking any of them. So I would say this: if your interest is going into civil practice, but you're someone who just has a real interest in, you understand the importance of us getting this right, that criminal justice is something that every lawyer and every American should know something about and be involved in, I think this program is a good program for you. Your 3 years may look a little different than the person who knows they want to go into criminal law, because you might pack in a few more civil courses as electives. But you'll be more conversant in the area of criminal justice and criminal law than your counterparts who didn't go through the program. Is that your question?
Yes, it seems that, you know, that the great benefit is that the person who, from an example of myself, taking the, what you call it, the honors criminal justice with the idea that, well, you know what, this is going to be great if I'm going to do civil litigation. You follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It seems like it brings about a greater impact for that particular lawyer.
Well, I also think the thing about the program is you will also, right, through having to put your case together that I mentioned,
yes,
through having to go through the integrated advocacy course, where now you're taking all of that work and you're putting together a pretrial motions and engaging in pretrial practice, engaging in trial advocacy. While all of those are skills packaged in a criminal law context, they are skills that are directly transferable to a civil practice, particularly if you're going to be a trial lawyer. So I think there's a benefit there as well.
What's been the most challenging course that each of you have taken during your first year? So why has that course been challenging?
That's a good question. I think right now I would say property, because that's what I'm struggling with right now. Yeah, I would say property's been tough.
I would say property for me as well, but you know, as well, like I said, the small class sizes, you know, we still have small classes with those professors as well. So the fact that we have a small class size, that means I get to, all the professors are available to speak with and to deal with your issues that you're having with particular concepts. So
probably civil procedure, not because it was difficult, but because we were terrified of the professor. And we actually tried to figure out her method of calling on people, and we never got it. But you would get in there and you would think, I have read this case, I have read the notes on this case, I have read the Horn book, I am ready. And then she asks you a question and you just have no clue what she's talking about. So I think the Socratic method was probably the most challenging, but that particular class where she expected you to know, what did this justice say in his dissent in the third paragraph, second sentence? Teaching you precision, which is something you need to know. I mean, I'm not knocking it. It's great because I knew civil procedure when I got out of that class. And you should treat every class like that. You should know it backwards and forwards. I think that that was the first semester in law school, so it was just kind of terrifying.
Most challenging for me right now is probably integrated criminal practice. Not because it's hard whatsoever, but because of the material. I mean, we have projects that are due every single week. We have written assignments due every week. It's just there's so much we're doing right now. We've already had our pre-trial. We've already done motions. I'm preparing for my own trial. I go first. So I'm preparing for trial in a week. So it's just a lot of material that we're doing right now. It's really fast paced, get a lot of stuff done. I'm constantly busy working on projects for that class every single week. But it's great. I love it. It's challenging, but I love it.
But you'll find out, like, just as a small aside, what your passion is. And when you hit that moment where you're in class or you're doing something for class and you're like, man, I love doing this, I think that's the best part of the program.
Yes, can you talk about your law library and some of the benefits of it?
Sure, absolutely. Well, it's 3 floors. I think it was closed today, so if you went on a tour, you didn't get a chance to see it. But we have 2 computer labs, and what the best thing about our law library is the fact that you can print from Westlaw and LexisNexis from anywhere for free. I can sit at home and do my research, and it will print automatically to the to the printer here at school, and there's technicians in the library who will take my research and put it together for me in a file, and it's waiting for me in the morning. In our library, it's quiet. That's where I spend the majority of my time. That's where I do my homework. There's 20 study rooms in there. We have kiosks around everywhere, and John Marshall spends a big chunk of their money on books, and if there's something that we don't have, they will get it for you, and they're really flexible with that. So there's pretty much everything in there you'll need. I don't know what you would need that much as far as away from Westlaw and LexisNexis, but if there's something that you need, we pretty much have it.
She pretty much said everything that I would say about the library. It's the 3 floors. You can always find a spot that's off to one side somewhere where nobody else is, and you can set your stuff out and have plenty of space. The printing is huge. Print your cases up. By the time you get to school, they're stapled and filed away, and you just come by and pick them up. That's big.
Is there anything that you guys wish someone would have told you before you started law school?
For me, I believe that I came into the program and school pretty aware. I want to say that when I was informed about the program, they allowed me to speak to Professor Rapping, and he just gave me a tremendous amount of information. Not only that, he reached out to some of these students, and I was able to just get a breakdown of what professors to be concerned about, what kind of questions they were going to ask, just what to be concerned for. So I really felt a lot more prepared because they really are very helpful and very invested. So, whatever resources that they have available, and I'm sure that we will also be willing to make ourselves available for any things or any concerns or any questions you have about specific teachers as well.
And,
so,
Latoya, can I just be clear? You got worried about what professors to be concerned about from the students.
Yes, yeah, not from you, not from Professor Rapping. But I mean, overall, they still very much told me that all of these professors are still very invested. Even if they are hard on you, they're still very invested in your education. So,
I have 2 things. One, everyone had me really afraid of first year, but they said that after first year would be a breeze. That's not true. For me, first year was so much easier, than second year. And I don't know if I just had a different experience or a better experience than my first year, but second year you're just involved in more in organizations or involved in more different activities going on, and some of you might have externships and whatnot. But it's the work professors. They know that you can do the work by your second year, so they assign so much more reading to your second year that it's just a lot, but it's definitely manageable. Second, I wish they would have told me that I was going to be as blind as a mole rat after my first year, because I was 20/20 when I started law school, and now I'm blind pretty much. I had to get glasses. I wish they would have told me to get some better reading glasses my first year, but that's just my experience, so hopefully it won't happen to you.
I wish somebody would have told me to drop my undergraduate and graduate expectations. If you come in here with an ego thinking, I made straight A's when I was an undergraduate, I'm going to go flying through law school. A C+ is a good grade in some classes. Love it, learn it, expect it. It's going to happen. There's going to be an essay that you write in one of your exams and you think you've aced it and you get it back and it is covered in red ink. And you just need to prepare yourself that maybe you're not going to be the brilliant genius you thought you were. You're going to pass that hump and then get confident again. There's going to be a moment in law school when you're going, I was not cut out for this. What am I doing? Because you got a bad grade or a professor or you got embarrassed in class. There's just going to be that moment where you kind of are mortified for a moment, but then you're going to pass it. Your confidence is going to come back, and it's kind of one of those hero stories. You're going to be stronger than ever, but that's kind of the way it is. But you have to go through that breaking you down to build you up process in law school, and I wish somebody had told me that that's exactly what's going to happen to you.
I would completely agree with what's been said. I talked to a lot of people before going to law school, before I even decided to go to law school, and they pretty much told me all similar things, but there's a difference between hearing it and truly understanding it. And once you start going through it, and you're like, oh, that's what they were talking about. Kind of what they were talking about with particularly for me in my first semester, I liken that to climbing a mountain, and it seems kind of hokey, but when you're down in the forest, you can't even see the top of the mountain. You just need keep going up, and you keep climbing, and then by the end of the semester, you finished finals, you can turn around and you can see where you came from, you can see the path you took, how all those different trails intertwine, and that's very satisfying. That's very satisfying.
For the first year students, what is a typical week like? I mean, as far as your class schedule, like last fall, what was your class schedule, like Monday through Friday?
I believe we had 2 classes each day, Monday through Friday. Mm-hmm. They were all in the morning. It was a great schedule. Come to class, we'd have, I think, maybe 30 minutes between classes, enough for a break, and then you'd have all afternoon to study.
And this semester is even better because we only go to school Monday through Thursday. So that means you have that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to prepare for your classes on Monday through Thursday. And it's the same thing where we have about 2 classes each day sometimes.
Alexandria, you mentioned something about kind of a mentorship with the second year and third year students, or maybe paired with the first year.
Right.
Can you expand on that? Is there like someone I can call and panic over the telephone with?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, all first year students, before you start, they'll let you. They have all your information, and then if you're interested in being a peer mentor, you're chosen, and you pretty much fill out a questionnaire of your activities, your life, just if you're married, where you're from, and they'll pair you a first year with a second or third year who kind of meet those same qualities and those same, share the same interests, and they'll pair you together, and you'll meet during orientation, and they'll get to talk and share more, during that time, and then we're asked to pretty much follow up with our mentees like once a week, once a month or so, and just keep in contact and pretty much share experience, give practical tips, and maybe how to outline, prepare you for exams, what professors to take or what not to take, all that stuff. But yeah, we stay in contact, and we just help them, and if they have any questions, they're panicking, whether talk to them and mentor them and calm them down. So to answer your question.
I've heard people say that they had an opportunity to work while they were in law school. Do you all work?
I do not work, and I think that most of my colleagues don't work. It's just very difficult to balance being able to do a good job at your employment and be able to do this. Before I started working here, I was working for Social Security Administration. I decided to go ahead and leave that job in order to do law school because you really want to give yourself a full opportunity to. There was an LLM student that did work, and she was able to make it through, but it was very, very difficult on her.
I don't work. I know there are lots of students. We do have a part-time program. I just wouldn't recommend working if you're doing a full-time job. And if you do work, I would not work that much. I mean, it has to be very minimal because you have no idea how much time you have really get things invested into your studies, and you need to do a good job. So,
I have a part-time job as a 2L. I have a really wonderful and understanding and kind boss that works with my schedule. And so if I have something, big to do, and he's really cool about it, and he lets me do a lot of really fun stuff with him. So I love that part-time job, and I like being able to do it, but it is very much part-time.
I don't work.
So the classes you said are in the morning, 2 classes a day, so what are you out like by noon?
usually it's from 1 to 3 most of the time. At least that's my schedule. I think that's how I was for first year also. Some of us did take night classes last semester, and I was in school from 8:30 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. It wasn't fun, but I got a lot done during that time, but it was exhausting.
So all the classrooms are located around the same place? place.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go across.
No, not at all.
Yeah. In our class, we had the same classroom for every single class.
That's
So you don't go anywhere.